Time now for another edition of Meet the Cardinals, the opportunity we have to talk to the Cardinal players to find out just a little bit more about them, both on and off the court. And we have Brody Lundblad from the former Coeur d'Alene Viking. How you doing, big fella?
Good, Dick. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. All right, let's talk a little bit about your game. Coming here from Coeur d'Alene High School, the decision to stay at home as opposed to go someplace else.
Yeah, biggest factor into that was mostly family. Letting my dad stay here, watch me play. My grandpa watching me play. Born and raised here, just feel comfortable here.
And, of course, your dad had some history in this building as well?
Absolutely. I'm third generation. My grandpa played here, my dad played here, and now I'm here playing.
All right, so who's the better of the three?
That's not a good question to ask. You know better. You know
Come on. All right, I'll settle it down. I'll say your grandfather. Us old guys, we got to stay together. I'll get into the backyard games between you and your dad a little bit later on because I do want to get into that. What do you bring to the table? When you first came here, what was the decision and what was said to you from both Coach Coeur and Coach G about, identifying your role is what I'm trying to say?
Coming here honestly was the right decision for sure. My role on this team is defensive leader, lead in different ways as I did in high school. As you can see, this team has plenty of scorers, so I'm not coming in here as a scorer. I've got a lot of a defensive threat, just energy, spark. That's really my role.
Boy, you're really acting real professional there, Brody. The Brodinator is really going after it there. I kind of like that. Defense, you know, a lot of times in high school you're known as a scorer. You know, Brody went off for 24, Brody went out for 26. I think if he took the shots necessary to get that many, he'd probably be on the bench because you mentioned the fact there are scores. Defensively, they need you to come in here, and I see it as your role. You go in there and you got to get into the face of probably their best shooter.
Yep. We have a target on our back. A lot of teams come out and hit shots versus us. A lot of kids play their best games versus us. So when we find a kid that's getting on their roll, coach likes to throw me in there and stick me on him and say, shut him down.
All right. Now, a lot of these guys, did you know them from playing AAU or something along that line? Because, you know, between North Idaho College, you got Spokane, you got Columbia Basin, Walla Walla, Yakima. I mean, those guys know each other.
Absolutely, yeah. I know quite a few of the guys within the league, and I knew a handful of these guys before even coming onto this team. So, yeah, good.
And the transition going from high school to college?
Awesome. I love it. I love it here. No complaints. College compared to high school is nothing compared to it. It's awesome.
A little bit more structured.
Way more structured and a lot more loose. I got a little more free time. I like it a lot more, to say the least.
All right, let's certainly a situation where when Brody comes in the ballgame, you like to talk a little bit too out there, don't you?
Oh yeah, the spark. That's why Coach likes me. Coach likes the little spark that I come in, bring the game.
Is that what they call it, a spark?
A spark, yep.
I'll have to change my vocabulary then, because I don't know if the spark is the word that I'm going to use here. Gosh. Off the field stuff now. I want to know a little bit more about Brody Lundblad. What is something that you like to do that maybe a lot of folks don't like? Maybe it's a hobby, or do you have any hobbies? Do you play an instrument? Do you sing? I don't think he's a singer, though.
No singing. You know better than that. Growing up here at Coeur d'Alene on the lake, I spend a lot of time on the water.
Good skier?
Yeah, exactly. Wakeboarding. I wakeboard.
Wakeboard.
It's one of my big things. I love spending time out on the lake, live in beautiful Coeur d'Alene, so in the summer it's hard not to be on the water. So I could say wakeboarding's a good hobby of mine.
So you think Richie could be a wakeboarder?
Oh, yeah. We could have some fun out on the lake for sure.
We could have some fun. Just drag me behind the boat. I got you.
That's what it would turn into for sure.
That's what it would turn into. All right, those backyard basketball games between you and your dad, who wins that?
Oh my gosh! Well, if you ask him, he has never lost a game. If you talk to him, but I'm whooping him. He can't run. He's too old. He's like you, Richard. He's a little too old these days. He's not moving well. He's not running or jumping. He's still got the jumper though. He's still shooting it.
I heard you say something old. My hearing's kind of bad because I'm old. Did you just call me old?
You got your hearing aid in?
What? All right. Gosh, now I was going to say, like when you go home for a special dinner, but heck, you never left. If you had an opportunity to sit down and have dinner with anybody at any time in our history, it could be way back 1800s, in the future, doesn't have to be, and I don't want it to be, well, I guess it could be an athlete. Who would that person be? Somebody that you could sit down and share a Huddy burger with. Goes down to Huddy's, sit down. Who would you sit down and talk to? Anybody.
Mine would probably be Coach K. I've always looked up to Coach K, and I know he's probably one of the most intelligent person on this planet due to the basketball court and off the court. So if I could go sit down and have a lunch with somebody and really take in a lot of knowledge from somebody, probably be Coach K from Duke.
What would you ask him?
Oh, I'd have lots of questions to ask him. I would just sit there and listen, to be honest. Everything he said to me, I would take in.
That'd be a first. Brody's actually sitting down and listening.
Exactly. Open up the ears.
All right, the favorite candy bar. If you're going trick-or-treating when you're a kid, and you got that candy bar in your bag, oh, man, you're just jacked. What is it?
I'm a Starburst Skittles guy, no chocolate. I like the fruity stuff.
Okay, the fruity stuff. I'm kind of a Snickers. I like to freeze them, and the little bite-sized
When they're cold, they're good. Really.
Those things are awesome. All right. Steak or a fish? Steak or fish?
Steak for sure.
Steak for sure.
Steak.
Okay. Pie or cake?
Ooh. I'll probably do pie. Honestly, pie. I love pie. Chocolate cream pie.
Oh, I know somebody in your family that makes awesome pies.
I can't say that. My grandma's chocolate cream pie is about as best as it gets.
People at the auction pay hundreds of dollars for her pies.
They do.
So you need to say to Sandy, you say, thanks for the pie. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
I can't afford her pies. I can't afford. I'm just an old guy. I probably have to take my teeth out to eat them. Brody, brodacious. What can I tell you? Shout out time. Who you want to give a shout out to? Although you see him all the time, you live at home. Is there anybody that from farther than 50 miles away that you need to say hi to? Or
no shout outs really. I could give a shout out to my little sister Kaylin. She's a freshman at Coeur High School this year. I'd give a shout out to her. She's witnessed a lot of things, been through it all for me. So probably shout out to my little sister Kaylin. She's the rock.
All right, fantastic. I usually don't do this, but I'll give you one question to me.
What's your favorite food, Rich?
My favorite food is lasagna.
Really?
My wife makes a killer lasagna.
Cake or pie?
No, that's two questions, man. Listen.
Can I get one?
All right.
One more.
One more. Cake, German chocolate.
Okay, that's very reasonable.
And, Sandy, German chocolate pie. All right.
I know she's watching
All
this.
right, fantastic. Meet the Cardinals, another edition. That is the Brodinator, Brody Lundblad.